Hello, and welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Heather. I'm Heather, I'm your host. It has been a long time since my last vlog, and a lot has happened in the interim. And I'm sure the same is going on with you, especially in light of the fact that we're now experiencing a once in a lifetime pandemic, as in COVID 19 or coronavirus. However, today I would like to take a few minutes just to discuss with you grief, specifically being blindsided by grief. So, for those of you who know me and know me well, you know that I lost my father back in June 2012. And 11 months and 2 weeks later, in June 2013, I lost my only sibling. My father's death was anticipated. In other words, I knew he was ill. I was at his bedside for the last 3 weeks of his life while he was in the hospital. And his death was, yes, anticipated. Yes, it was inevitable. But yet, when it actually happened, I was not prepared. I don't think anyone is prepared to lose a loved one. So that was my experience with losing my dad. In 2013, I lost my sibling, and his death was not anticipated. His death was not inevitable. To this day, his death is still cloaked in mystery, as I really do not understand what caused him to die. However, regardless of whether death is anticipated, inevitable, or it came as a surprise, no one is ever prepared to take the grief journey. Now, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she mentions that there's 5 stages to grief and loss. My personal experience and the experience of many others that I interact with, grief is not a linear journey. In other words, you don't move sequentially through the steps. There are days when you're at step 1 and you may be there for a month or 2 or 5. There's no time limit, there's no time frame. And then you find yourself at step 4. And you think, oh, good, I'm working through the process, because remember, there are only 5 stages. And afterwards, you get to stage 5. And a couple months, a couple of years later, you find you're back to stage 1. That has been my experience. And this is now 7 years since I lost my brother, and 8 years since I lost my father. And yet, for all the grief work I have done, for all the counseling I have gone to, for all the prayers, for all the tears that fell, the tears that dried, the tears that stopped flowing because I thought I was doing so well, today I find myself back at that would be stage 4, depression. So stage 1 is denial. Stage 2 is anger. Stage 3 is bargaining. Stage 4 is depression. And stage 5 is actually acceptance. You accept the fact that you encountered this loss. I got to stage 5 over the course of 7 and 8 years, I actually got to stage 5. And I have no idea what happened today, but I was totally blindsided by grief. And today, I find I'm back to stage 4. I'm back to being depressed. I'm not angry. I don't know. I have not experienced the anger stage that I experienced when I lost my brother. I have not experienced that maybe in about a year. But this depression just blindsided me. And I know I'm not alone. And looking at what I think may have triggered all of this, I think being in this pandemic, experiencing shelters in place and lockdown and mask wearing and all these other things, I think it is yet another loss. I have multiple health issues, and my health issues have robbed me of my professional life. You guys know that I'm a registered nurse. Due to my health, I have become disabled. And so, looking at the losses I've endured, loss of health, loss of profession, loss of personal financial stability, because I have a family, so we're financially stable, but my personal stability, loss of personal financial stability, loss of loved ones, and now I am in an indefinite shelter in place. My doctor had put me out. He told me to shelter in place back in March. He told me for a month. My other doctor told me no, 3 months. And so that 1 to 3 month period already ended a long time ago. And COVID is going nowhere. And my county and my state, we are experiencing exponential growth in cases. And I find that I cannot go out because I'm ordered to shelter in place longer. So I think that that was the root cause of why today has been so difficult. But I just know that I had to get on. I had to say something because I know I'm not alone. So for all of you out there who are watching, who are experiencing depression, isolation, loneliness, being blindsided by grief, know that you're not alone. Know that there is hope. Know that there is a better day to come. But ultimately, remember that the Lord has promised, I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. So no matter what you encounter in your life or in your day or in this month or in this year, know that you have a Savior that loves you and He walks beside you daily. Love you until we see each other and talk to each other again. This is Heather saying goodbye, and God bless.